Hello students, now we'll continue with the next topic, physical and chemical changes. You can see that I have listed here some changes which all of you might be knowing. These take place in our surroundings every time. So you have to classify them as physical and chemical changes. After that you would be able to describe the different two types of changes. Okay, let's move ahead. Now, how to define a physical change? So a change that brings about change in physical properties of a substance is called physical change. So physical properties only change during a physical change. And what are these physical properties? It may be color, hardness, rigidity, fluidity. The ease of flowing is known as fluidity, density, melting point, boiling point, etc. So these are all physical properties. So they may change in a physical change. Boiling of water. So what changes during this? Its fluidity. Boiling of water, it becomes a gas. Okay, so the density changes because the density of a gas is always lower than the liquid. Fluidity changes, gases can flow easier than a liquid. Okay, in the same way, dissolving sugar in water, so only the form of sugar changes. Sawing of wood, when we saw a wood with the help of a saw, then it only the shape, size of wood changes. Okay, so all these are physical changes. Next, so a change that brings about change in chemical properties of matter and we get new substances is called a chemical change. So in chemical change we get some new substance because the chemical properties of matter changes, right? So here rusting of iron, cooking of food, these are all physical chemical changes. Rusting of iron, we get rust, which is iron oxide, a new substance. Cooking of food, the raw food gets converted into cooked food, which is different from the earlier food, okay, earlier form of the food. So we get new substances in this. Now here the different types of pure substances, you know their names. We'll see some difference between them. Element and compound, these are the types of pure substances. Okay, so an element is the simplest form of matter which consists of only one kind of atoms. So an element consists of only one kind of atoms, right? Whereas a compound is a substance composed of two or more elements chemically combined with one another in a fixed proportion. Okay, so here elements, two or more elements may combine to form a compound in which the elements they react with each other in a fixed proportion. Okay, the proportion of the elements is fixed. An element cannot be broken down into simpler substances by chemical reactions because it is the simplest form, so it cannot be broken down into still simpler substances, whereas a compound can be broken down by chemical or electrochemical methods. Okay, so compound can be broken down into the constituent elements, right, but only by using some chemical or electrochemical methods. So examples of some elements: copper, iron, sulfur, oxygen, carbon. Okay, and compounds: water, carbon dioxide, sugar, common salt. All these are compounds. What is the formula for, what is the name of this compound, common salt? It is sodium chloride. Okay, next the types of elements. Now elements can further be grouped into three types: metals, non-metals and metalloids. So here properties I have listed in this table. You can see malleable, metals are malleable, ductile. Malleable means they can be converted into thin sheets, and then ductile, they can be converted into thin wires, thin threads. Okay, sonorous, they produce ringing sound when they are hit. Then good conductors of heat and electricity. Okay, so all metals, they are good conductors and lustrous. They have a metallic shine on them. Examples are gold, copper, mercury. There are many other examples of this. Then non-metals, they are non-malleable. They cannot be converted into thin sheets or thin threads or wires. They are non-sonorous. They do not produce any type of sound when hit, or they are poor conductors of heat and electricity. And non-lustrous, they do not have any shine on them, although there are a few exceptions. Okay, we'll study about them later. Oxygen, carbon, sulfur, these are some of the examples. And metalloids, they have some intermediate properties between metals and non-metals. You'll study about this in detail in 10th class. Okay, they have intermediate properties, means they show properties of both metals and non-metals. Some examples are silicon, boron, germanium. Okay, next, difference between mixtures and compounds. Now you know that sometimes the different substances are mixed. If they are mixed in any proportion, then we get a mixture. But if they are mixed in a fixed proportion, then we may obtain a compound. But not just by mixing we can get only mixtures, but when these elements, they react chemically, then they form compounds. Okay, so elements or compounds just mix together to form a mixture, and no new compound is formed. So during this, some element or compound may mix. We can mix iron powder and sulfur powder together, but then a compound is not formed, because both sulfur powder and iron powder can be seen differently and they can be separated very easily, right? But when they react chemically, then we get a new substance which is known as a compound. Next difference is, a mixture has a variable composition. When they are mixed, then we can have any composition, so the composition may vary. But in a compound, the composition is always fixed. A mixture shows the properties of the constituent elements. Okay, so the properties can be seen differently of both the substances which are mixed, but in new substance has totally different properties. Okay, the compound has different properties than the constituent elements. The constituents can be fairly easily separated by physical methods. So we can use any physical methods to separate them. So for example, if we mix iron powder and sulfur powder, how can we separate the iron powder from it? Yes, very easily by using a magnet. Okay, but when they form a compound which is iron sulfide, then we cannot separate the constituents by using a magnet. Okay, so constituents can be separated only by chemical or electrochemical reactions. By only some chemical or electrochemical process only we can separate the constituents. Example, if we mix sugar and water, or soil is a mixture of different substances, oil and water. Okay, when they are mixed, then we get a mixture. Water, the formula for water is H2O, so its composition remains the same, because you know that in water 2 atoms of hydrogen and 1 atom of oxygen combines to form this molecule, right? So the composition always remains same, and the properties of both hydrogen and oxygen cannot be seen in water. Okay, both are gases, whereas water is a liquid. Then carbon dioxide, sodium chloride, sugar, they are all examples of compounds. So this is just a recapitulation for this matter. It may be pure substance, impure substance. Then pure substance can be again grouped into elements and compounds. Impure substance is a mixture, and this mixture can be homogeneous or heterogeneous, and this homogeneous is known as solution, whereas heterogeneous again into two types, suspension and colloidal. Okay, so this is all about our this chapter. Okay, go through all the videos and note down the notes. We'll meet again. Stay home, stay safe, and keep learning. Bye.